Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about Leadership Alameda program. It's not really a program. It's a catalyst for communication, for collaboration, for growth, and mainly also for some of the challenges within our community. It's a 10-month program where we dive into different educational sessions, different discoveries and explorations. But there's a lot that you will learn. And instead of me saying what it is and what we do every month, I would like you to hear from some of our graduates in the last 3 years. Here we go.
Hi there, my name is Adrien Abuyen. I serve as the Director of Public Affairs for the Cost Reed Group, which is an East Bay-oriented public affairs firm. I was interested in joining Leadership Alameda. Well, one is I had exposure to a similar leadership class through the City of Oakland. So their Chamber of Commerce had Leadership Oakland. And as I re-entered the public affairs realm, I knew there was a particular city I wanted to get to know, the one I grew up in, which is the city of Alameda. And so I learned a lot, particularly serving in healthcare, education, the nonprofit world of Meals on Wheels, that leadership cohorts like this teach you a lot about how the city runs, but also the good happening in the community. And so if there's one way to get to know what's happening, whether you be in the faith community, the business community, the nonprofit, or the government side of it, a leadership cohort like Leadership Alameda is a great way to do that. In the courses, there's a ton of different focuses, but one that stood out to me in particular was the affordable housing, well, really housing and transportation. The city of Alameda, like any other city in the state of California, is required to submit what's called the housing element. So to me, my family grew up here renting, and so the accessibility to owning a home is not always a reality for people, so I was quickly drawn to it. The city of Alameda is doing some incredible things. They were the first city in the state of California who submitted an approved housing element. So to me, naturally, I was kind of drawn to that. Another key piece so that people thrive is understanding how you get around a place, how you get to work, how you get your kids to school. And so for me to see how the city of Alameda, although it's surrounded by water, how they're thinking about the residents, but also those who come onto the island, was really important and something that I thought was carefully thought out. I'd recommend that people, when thinking about joining Leadership of Alameda, whether you come from an organization like the Friends of Alameda Animal Shelter or Girls Inc., or let's say like a larger company like Exelixis. So if you're a private industry, you want to work for the government, or you want to go into the nonprofit world, that going into a cohort like Leadership Alameda is a good choice, so that you get a real grasp on what's happening in the community. At the Cost Reed Group in public affairs, I've been in the industry once before, and I left because I didn't quite agree with the client that we had. But the Cost Reed Group, I got to one question, and I asked the owner, I said, who do you say no to? Because when you say no to a client, you're saying no to revenue. In the Bay Area, to raise a family, it takes quite a bit of funding to live. But when you say no to clients, it tells me a little bit more about your values. And so when I understood joining this firm, I wanted to understand really how it works to align organizations with the good already happening in community. And to me, what that means is it acknowledges that there's already good inherent to that particular city, Alameda, Oakland, etc., and that we just get to align with that good happening. So whether you're a large company or you're the nail salon down the street, you want to know how you understand people, how you serve them, and you seek to care for them. If you have those as your foundation, I think you'll experience a measure of success that will keep you going. And Leadership Alameda oftentimes helps people understand the larger gamut of how do you align yourself with the good happening in that city. There was one more session I was really excited about, and that was the education piece of the Leadership Alameda class. And we got to hear from people who were either at the community college level all the way through K through 12. And for me, when I graduated from high school, I intended to go to a four-year university. My parents always told me, you're going to grow up, you're going to go to college, and then you're going to get a job, and you're going to be close to family. That's really important to them. When I graduated, my family was experienced, like many others do, some financial hardship. And so then I had to reimagine what I was going to do. I started working at the Alameda Hospital for a doctor or a couple doctors who are really foundational to this community and help make sure we kept the city of Alameda Hospital. But I ended up going to College of Alameda and Laney College in Merritt. But College of Alameda was my home campus. And so I got there and I was working almost full time, and I applied for a scholarship, and a dean said to me, Adrien, I saw your scholarship application. I don't get to decide on these things. There's a whole committee. but I can see that you want to be an attorney, but you also love people, and that comes through your writing. Have you ever thought about being a pastor? And I was kind of just floored by the idea of that. I didn't know who she was and why she was interested, but she had heard something else that I gave a speech to a political science class. And she said, Adrien, I want you to write the press release for the reenactment of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. And so this person who I met, who I didn't really know what a dean was, because I didn't know the academic structure, really called me into community-facing work. But it allowed me to understand there was more meaning to me than just getting a good grade. That I can bring positive and healing impact, not only in the classroom, but outside of that, and my career can lead to that. And so whether I have been in the nonprofit space or the for-profit, I know that no matter where I go, that we organize community, we involve them, and we understand how we're bringing positive and healing impact with our lives, and that means our careers too. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Allie Hawkins, and I am an owner of Bay Lights Charters, which is a sailing charter company on San Francisco Bay. We take up to 49 passengers on a traditional tall ship with multiple pickup locations. I was fortunate enough to meet Madeline and join Leadership within 6 months of moving to Alameda. And I decided to join Leadership because being new, I wanted not only the networking, but I wanted to understand the priorities of Alameda and how the city worked. I can say without a doubt that within the year of Leadership, I felt like I was a local and I knew more than my friends who had lived here their whole lives. So that was a huge bonus, and Leadership was so diverse and so engaging. I loved every single day. In fact, I had perfect attendance and planned a vacation around it because I just felt like I learned so much each time. And so the big lesson for me was to show up. And there was never a time that I regretted being there. The friends that I've made were amazing and like-minded. I was going through a transition with our company, and there was like-minded people that really helped foster new opinions and new strategies, so it was invaluable. My most favorite day was definitely the day that we saw the police station and the fire. I got to suit up as a fireman, which is no easy task. And I have to say, every time they drive by and I hear their sirens, I feel like I know what they're going through, even though I probably really don't. But there wasn't a single day that wasn't fantastic. The most impactful day, I think, was the housing day. I just was so impressed with how Alameda takes care of their own. And the less fortunate who have fallen on the hard times, we're all one step away from that, right? And so it was just really, really heartwarming and encouraging and sparked something in me that we are all in this together. And I'm really grateful for the tact that Alameda takes with that situation. Oh, the class project. So that was my first time doing a group project in a long time. I've been a solo entrepreneur most of my life, and we were tasked with sustainability for takeout food, which turns out to be a huge problem. So it was really fun to get to dive into it and try and find solutions and try and find new avenues. I was lucky enough to put my business up and have Reusables come out and certify us as a green business and really see the challenges that the food service people face and firsthand work with other people and learn to listen more than I talk. My advice for people that are thinking about doing this, don't hesitate. It's one of those experiences in life where you once a month get to step out of your own life and really focus on learning and growing as not only an individual but as a team, and the connections are unbeatable. So sign up today.
Hi, my name is John Green. I am the Senior Account Manager at Alameda Municipal Power, and I have known about the leadership program for a few years now, but was talked into joining the program myself by one of the alumni who I work with, and she was singing the praises about the leadership program, how important it is, and what a benefit it is for anybody who lives or works in Alameda. now that I've completed the program, one of the things that was unexpected that was tremendously beneficial was getting to meet other people from different roles within each company. So, as the nature of my job, I get to work with a lot of businesses in Alameda, but usually get stuck with the building engineers or facility staff and sometimes owners and managers. But this was a great chance to meet a lot of accountants and support personnel and just a lot of different businesses and roles in Alameda that I have not had a chance to meet already. One of the best aspects of the leadership program was getting to visit the Roots facility. For several years now, I've wanted to go get a tour of the facility, and the time just never seemed to work out. But our session, we got to really meet the leadership team and really got to learn what an amazing organization it is. It really speaks to a lot of what Alameda stands for and the business community that we have here in Alameda. One of the biggest leadership lessons I learned was perspective. So while it's nice to visit all these businesses, you get the Alameda business perspective from their viewpoint, which is sometimes different than as the power company supplying power. Our class project was on the Climate Action and Resiliency Plan, which I was familiar with before, but we were asked to actually create a campaign that would publicize and kind of get the word out about CARP, as well as work with businesses to find out what some of their burdens or hurdles would be in complying with the Climate Action and Resiliency Plan. The great thing is all the relationships and connections I've made through this program. It's going to be so beneficial for me and my job moving forward, but gives me a whole pool of resources to reach out to when I need something or somebody to help me.
Hi, I'm Sabin Dhakal. I work at Exelixis. We are an oncology company. We make cancer medicine. I'm very proud to be part of the team at Exelixis. My colleague Kathleen and Rob did Alameda Leadership course last year, and that drew me to sign up for this year. My experience with leadership was, I get to know so many people, so many leaders, and also so many companies in Alameda. I've been living in Alameda for 17 years, and some of the company I never heard. I was like, oh, it's been there for a while. And networking is the main thing that I'm taking out of this leadership course. I met so many wonderful people, leaders from the cities, leaders from small businesses, and get to learn from their experience. Yeah, and then I had a group project. We did urban forestry. We did a micro task between our team, and the turnaround was amazing. I believe leaders are not only the people on the top, but the real leaders are who help their teammate grow, who help people who work in the organization, path to succeed.
Hello, everyone. My name is JC Sosa. I'm a technology advisor with Bridgepoint Technologies. I joined the program, the leadership program, as part of an initiative for self-improvement, but also to be part of my community and give back. As the program went along, I learned quite a few things, that there are a lot of complex problems in society, that there aren't simple solutions to them, but we can simply start by working together, having a conversation, and being collaborative. Anyone interested in applying to the leadership program, I would highly recommend it. If you're interested in not only growing personally, but also your network and seeing how you can support the community, this would be a wonderful opportunity for you to be a part of something much bigger with higher purpose. We live in an age of technology where everything is at your fingertips, but the real problems can be solved by coming together in person and getting out of your comfort zone.
Hi, my name is Sue Fairbanks, and I work for the Alameda Health System, and I was based in Alameda working for the Creedon Advanced Wound Care Center, and I actually had previously done Leadership San Ramon Valley, and the Chief Administrative Officer for Alameda reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in participating, and I had lots to do at the time. I had one meeting with Madeline, and I was sold. So she is a go-getter. She makes sure that the program is interesting, entertaining, that you learn a lot, and so I joined in, and we started with a trip on the bay on this amazing ship, that sailing ship that actually transported cargo across the Bay Area, and it was kind of a analogy for the entire adventure. We were on this sailing ship together, learning about each other, and it just was a great start to a great program. All of the sessions were amazing. I learned a lot. I've lived in the Bay Area my entire life, worked in Alameda for almost 4 years, but every session I learned either about Alameda or our politics, or all of the speakers were very interesting in the diversity. But I really took away a lot from actually one of my colleagues who works for the Alameda Municipal Power. I found that fascinating about how Alameda has their own power and that they are renewable. And I just think that's amazing. So I say anybody that's questioning whether they want to do it or not, I say, why not? And you will not be disappointed. And my biggest takeaway is my relationships. I have made lifelong friends, and I'm going to miss seeing everybody every month and catching up and seeing what's going on in their lives. So do it.
Hi, I'm Adam Gillitt, and I am the publisher and president of Alameda Post, which is Alameda's only local news source. And this program was incredibly important and valuable for me as I launched the Post, because it gave me a chance to get out and meet people all around town and find out everything that's going on in the city, whether it's a city department, a business, a nonprofit organization, people doing good in the community. It just gave me a chance to learn this city inside and out. And it's been so valuable that a second generation of employees from the Alameda Post is in the current program right now. Our managing editor, Kelsey Goers, is going to be graduating from the June class. And I really can't recommend this program highly enough. It is a wonderful way to learn about what matters in Alameda, all the people who are behind the scenes making incredible things happen. And the best thing that I got out of all of this, I have to echo what so many other people are saying, is the relationships I made, is the people that I met who were part of my class, who I still talk to on a regular basis and work with and reach out to for support on projects I'm working on, and they reach out to me for support. And it's just created a community of people that I'm going to work with and know for decades to come around the city. And if you're on the fence about taking part in this program, I think you should really give it a serious consideration, because there's so much about this town people just don't realize. And there's a lot of rumors and what's the word I'm looking for? Legends that aren't necessarily true. And when you get out to meet the people who are behind what's going on, you learn the truth of what really matters in this town and how things get done. So if you are thinking about it, by all means, learn some more, reach out, and sign up.